Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Instagram. And good morning, YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It is Thursday. It is 9:30. It is our weekly time to catch up on all awesome things going on at Cotton Cuts. I hope everyone's doing great. We had a very interesting 4-weather week here in St. Louis so far. For those of you guys that don't know, in St. Louis, we have about 13 different seasons throughout the year. And earlier this week, we had our first fake spring. We had a day where it was like 60 degrees. The sun was shining. It was beautiful. It was enough to convince us to be like, maybe we don't need our jackets anymore. And then it dropped 40 degrees overnight. And so that's St. Louis. That's where we live. And we are back in the throes of a typical February weather and a day. Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I see people checking in from all over. Oh, Summer, I have a surprise for you. I am actually unboxing a Nightingale clue today. So that's today's show. If you've been a long-time mystery detective or if you are a new, you're going to want to hang with us because I am going to show you, I'm actually going to unbox what a puzzle mystery quilt is. And we have a surprise for everyone. We're going to take you from the clues to the assembly to the finished process today, just as a quick refresher, because clue 1 and the prepaids are shipping for Flyway, and we want to make sure that you guys are as prepared as possible to join us on this incredible journey. All right, I see some 67 degrees. I see snow in Connecticut. I see Florida, Southern California. I see Massachusetts. Good morning, everyone. All right, so we're going to start, as we always do, with questions that have been submitted by you guys. Oh, Shelly is asking, when are we going to see Anne's colorway? So we've been dragging this out for a while. So for those of you that are new or might not know, so Ian is a longtime supporter of Cotton Cuts. I think he's on Mystery Quilt number 12 or 13 with us. Do we know what number? Like 12, 13, some big number. And so this time around, he let you guys, our Cotton Cuts audience, choose his colorway. And I think it was about a week ago, we were like, we're going to share what Ian's colorway is. And it was a fake out. We gave him a fabric that we knew he would absolutely positively hate. And so I believe next week on Tuesday, it's next week on Thursday night, we are going to be revealing what Ian and what Sean's colorways are. And I'm sorry, what was this now? Okay, and so Cotton Cuts, he let our team pick Sean's colorways. So I know we're kind of dragging this out. We're getting the maximum mileage out of it. And so, yeah, tune in next Thursday night. I will have a lovely chat. Those two are some of my favorite people in the whole world. It is going to be so much fun. You guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys, the 60, 70 degrees, like that's not bad. Like we had that on Tuesday. I wish we could go back to that. All right. And it's snowing in Spokane, Washington. So I visited some family in Washington once, and I didn't realize how much it actually snows there. It was very darn cold. So yes, lesson learned. All right. Tisha was saying it's 80s in Florida. That's good work. All right. So we're going to start as we always do. Let's get back on track. So every week you guys go to cottoncuts.com/live and submit questions. Paula has them sitting here for me on the table each week when I sit down. These are the first time I see them, and perhaps I'm going to get stumped. We will see as we go through these questions. So the first question submitted is from Elaine Hagan. Thank you so much for your question, Elaine. Elaine is from Kennewick, Washington. Have you considered making the quilts more rectangular and designed for queen beds? Okay, so we'll talk about this a little bit. So I believe this is in reference to our Puzzle Mystery Quilts. And so for the Puzzle Mystery Quilts, the larges are always 72 by 72 square. That's how they've come out every single time we've done the iterations for this. And so what we've done is we've offered border kits to make it bigger, but it's making it bigger uniformly. So it still retains the square dimensions. It can be used on a queen size bed and it can be used on a king size bed. I have on my bed right now, the very, very, very first Puzzle Mystery Quilt that we did as Cotton Cuts. It is on my bed right now. I added borders and I made it bigger to be king. And so in that case, the Puzzle Mystery Quilts are rectangular. You can add borders to make them bigger. That is never a problem at all. However, this is a question that's come up many, many times, right? Making a square quilt is hard because it doesn't universally fit. Like you can't put a square quilt on a twin size bed, for sure not. And on the king size bed, you'd even have to add more borders in a certain dimension because it is wider than it is long. And so in that case, that is why we've looked at the Mystery 5.0 program. And so that is something that we will be starting up this summer. And those quilts are not square in design. They are not like our traditional Puzzle Mystery Quilt. They are a faster sew. They are a shorter duration program. And we've seen the first two designs. We are excited by them. We're starting to plug fabrics and colorways into the design so we can get that off the ground this summer. But for now, for the short term, our traditional Puzzle Mystery Quilt program, the 10-month program, is still square. But that's not to say once you get it done, you can't add more in every direction to get it to whatever size you want it to be. All right, Elaine, thank you so much for your question. Stay tuned for that Mystery 5.0 program. You are going to want to be part of that. The first quilt, everyone I've shown here is like, I want to make that quilt. So stay tuned. All right, our next question comes from Cheryl Thompson from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Cheryl asks, what is the best way to store bobbins that keep them from unwinding? I have about 50 to 60 bobbins. Help. Okay, so that explains why these are here. So I sat down and was like, why are these here, Paul? Like, what's going on? Why do we have these here? Now it makes sense. Okay, so Cheryl is asking, what is the best way to store bobbins that keep them from unwinding? So these are funky little bobbin spools. And so what these are pieces of molded rubber that actually is able to wrap around a bobbin. And what these do is they wrap around the outside and they keep those little threads from coming undone and coming unrolled, right? And so we have a whole assortment of these. I'm pretty sure they're planning on putting these in some upcoming boxes. I know Cheryl probably has a plan for these on our team, but these guys are readily available. They're usually at the cash wrap at a local quilt shop because these are meant to like grab and just take with you. These work really, really, really well if you are looking at taming those loose ends. For me, in my shop, in my quilt studio, I don't have 50 to 60 bobbins. That is a lot. I have a couple of those rubber molded rings that I keep the bobbins in, and I just press them inside of it. And that usually tames those threads a lot. However, I am guilty. I definitely have that nest of thread that you reach into, and then the bobbins just roll across the table and off and onto the floor. And before you know it, they're out the door and that bobbin is completely unwound. That is definitely my reality as well. I do keep a lot of those in the silicone ring. If you guys have any tips or tricks to keep your bobbins wound, put them in the comments. Perhaps that can help Cheryl as well. But these are the first things that come to mind. The silicone ring is another, or you just accept the fact that you're going to have loose threads and those bobbins are going to run across the table. So Terry is saying she has the tire style one as well for her featherweight. Erin is saying she has a silicone ring that holds all of her bobbins and hang that on the wall in the craft room. I love that idea, actually putting them on the wall, because that ring, I love it. It just sits on a table. It takes up space. I love the idea of hanging it up on a wall to get it off the table. All right. Pat is saying she loves the snippets. Fantastic. I love those snippets too. We're going to have more about those in just a second. All right. So that's it. Those are the questions I had for today. Thank you guys so much for submitting them. Go to cottoncuts.com/live, and Paula will pick two of the questions for next week, and we will answer them live here. All right. Don't forget to give StreamYard your permission so we can see your name. I see a lot of you guys are doing that already. Fantastic. Thank you. So we can see you. And have Savannah has a bobbin case. Yes, those are definitely the pre-molded ones where it's like one space for each bobbin. That's what I had as a kid growing up. That is definitely still workable. Runs with Quilts is saying, I have a boat and a case, but do I use them? No. Yes. I think that's the other bit, is it's like you can buy these and I guarantee you when I go to need it and go to find it, I am not going to be able to find it. So yes, that's a fantastic. And of course, the ones that you use at a high volume, they're really hard. You just don't put those away. They keep those out all the time. You can also use a piece of painter's tape, cut some strips, keep them in your ruler until you need one. Also, washi tape. They have very narrow washi tape that could also work as well. All right. All right, let's keep going. So what is happening in the shop this week? So, I mean, it's one word, guys. It's Flyway. It's Flyway. It's all day, every day. It's been Flyway. It is an all hands on deck to get everything Flyway out the door. And so I can tell you that right now, Clue 1 is on the tables. They are packing it out as, like, if we were to turn the camera around, you could see them. Every table is full of a colorway. Clue 1 is definitely going to ship on Friday. And so all of our Clue ones always come with tracking. And so you can log on to your account, you can find your Flyway order, and the tracking number is there for almost all of them right now. There's a small number of people that have ordered one of this and one of this with an oops kit here and something else here. Those ones don't have tracking numbers yet, but they will by the end of the week. If you have ordered just a single Clue one, or with an oops kit, that tracking is available now. It will be handed to our mail carrier on Friday. So I know you're going to be super excited. You're going to want to track that order today. We had to generate the labels to get them onto your packages. So track it on Friday. They're all going out the door then. For our prepaid detectives, so our prepaids, we were a little delayed getting some of that equipment in, and it is literally not stopped. It has been running since it had arrived. And so we created a tracker that we put onto our website. So if you go to cottoncuts.com/where-is-my-stuff, I know we probably should work on that. We can come up with something better, but where's my stuff? The tracker is there, and it shows kind of the colorways of the prepaid that are moving through the system. And so I can tell you Nightingale is going to ship today or tomorrow. Nightingale is going to be out the door. We have gotten a jump on it. It is a huge colorway. There's a lot of people doing Nightingale. That is going to be out the door. And so that's actually the one I'm going to show you guys today. Close on its heels is Freebird. And so Freebird is another huge colorway for us. That is going to be going out the door as well. Watch the tracker, because by the end of the day tomorrow, I think 3 more colorways are going to drop down into the kitting and shipping category. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. Also, I know that we just heard about how much you guys love the stitches and the strips. Our team is doing a Snippets 2.0 with Flyway. And so for Flyway, we're getting some interesting different cuts off of our machine. And so with that, we are going to create strip packs, which are going to be on the website. And we are also creating a strings and selvage pack. And so I've been challenging our team. We've got some pretty creative folks here. And I'm like, what can you guys do with these strings and selvage packs? And I challenged Dawn on our team, and Savannah's right behind her, of what can you do with these new string packs? And so this is actually a rug that Dawn has made with a string pack. And so she has taken the strings off the die cutter. That's not them. She's taken the strings off the die cutter, and she has crocheted them into this rug that she is going to then put into her lake house. And it is made with Nightingale strings. And so I want to make sure you guys see, I kind of folded it up a little bit, but those are all the colors in the Nightingale PMQ colorway. She has just been stitching this in the evenings when she's kind of hanging out. And before you know it, she's gone around. She took 2 ends, she just overlaid the top of them and stitched it. And now she has a rug that's going to live in a bathroom in her house. Patricia is asking, how do we get a snippet every month? So if you want a traditional snippet, which is all the die cut parts and pieces, all the kind of the perimeter, the frames of all of those, you can get those on the website now. We're going to talk more about the snippet specific to Flyway next week on our show. It was definitely crocheted. So Terry, I'm assuming the strips, they're universally 1 inch long, and she laid the top on together and she stitched them together, and she's just been crocheting until she runs out. And then she changes colors and she crochets until she runs out. And so that's just kind of one of those ways that, you know, we're committed to keeping all of our fabric scraps out of the trash and out of the waste stream. And so we like packaging these up and sending them to you. I like seeing what she's done. We actually, the traditional snippets we've given to organizations, and they teach crocheting and knitting using them. And that was kind of the catalyst for this idea. Everything is 1 inch long, and they've got those little ears on them. If you've gotten a snippet before, she just kept them, and it just adds texture to the rug, and it looks awesome. So more on this coming next week. They will be on the website, and you guys can learn all about the different way we're doing snippets for Flyway. All right. We named our die cutter. We named her Rosie. It's Rosa, our logo's kind of niece cousin. And so Rosie is definitely working overtime. We love adding that. And I hope you guys enjoy the videos and the photos that Paula has been putting out. We have our Java sneak peek for this month. And so, of course, because it is February, the month of love, we have this beautiful pink and red Java. Let's see here. So The rug was pretty great idea. I have one for my great aunt that I've had for 50 years. The rugs, and this can be washed. You don't have to worry about having that rubber backing. You can add rubber backing to it. No one's going to stop you if you want to make sure you have that non-skid surface to it. Back to the Java. So this is, February is the month of love. So it's got a lot of beautiful pink and red batiks. They're all seasonally coordinated. Plus you'll get a free pattern to be able to make something with your fat quarters. That is going to ship on the 10th. So you only have, I think, 2 more days to be able to get your orders in to be able to get this bundle. Otherwise, you'll get March. And March is just lovely. It is very green because it is, St. Patrick's Day in March. Let's see here. So Terry is saying her pooch would claim the rug. Yeah, I feel like I would love to get out of a shower and have that. Can we get instructions for the rug? Okay, so Gianna, the instructions are really, she just did a single crochet. And so she is a super basic crocheter. She's done just very, very small things. She said the biggest thing that Dawn has ever crocheted is like this big, because she makes just coasters, because that's all she can really do with the single crochet. So all she did was get this really large hook. I can show you guys. I'm going to end up probably messing her up. I will bring this whole thing over. So she just got this really, really large crochet hook, and she just did a whole series of single crochets. Perhaps what we can do is have Paula maybe put together a blog post just giving simplified instructions, but that's all it is. It's just a single crochet, and she's just gone around and around and around and around. What size is the hook? It's a 19. It is a 5 millimeter. It's a US one. So I believe this is probably the biggest hook that you can buy at Michael's or Joann's or wherever you buy your crochet hooks. All right. How does she keep it from fraying? Time will tell. And so there was nothing that she put on there to keep the ends from fraying. She literally just took the scraps and she crocheted them together. It's at her lake house, so it's probably something that's not in a high traffic, high use area. But over time this will fray. This is Nightingale. So this one is a batik, I believe. And so, oh no, it's a shibori. So it is a hand dyed. So I'm sure it'll probably fray over time. It depends on, if it's a high traffic area and how you are washing it. Okay, Rachel, I'm going to come back to your batting question in a second. I want to make sure that we get through kind of the things going on, and then we'll come back to the decide which batting to use question. Okay, so just kidding. Paula is on it. And so Paula has created a link to a show that we did on All About Batting, or the tracker link. Just kidding. So Paula is putting the link to the tracker into the comments so you guys can see it. Rachel, give us a second, and Paula will pull up an entire show I did on batting and how to choose batting for your project. Okay. I think we can get back to this. Okay, so Tim Holtz. All right, so Tim Holtz has an interesting update with it. So we love this Painter's Palette program. It's something we've been working with Free Spirit. There's a lot of quilt shops in the United States that are doing this program. Unfortunately, Free Spirit has experienced just a ridiculous amount of incoming delays on these prints. Delays at the port, delays at the strike, lost cargo containers. It's been a challenge for them. And so what they are doing is they are going to move the shipment for Tim Holtz to us forward a month. The way that we've always viewed fabric and receiving it is we always add a month of cushion, because we never really trust the dates that we get from our manufacturers. They're always a little off. So we even added a month to the program. They've already eaten into that month. And so now they are pushing it forward. So what we are doing for all of our Tim Holtz folks is we are going to move our program forward a month as well. There's going to be an email coming out about this with all the logistics, all the information. We're going to move everyone's charges forward a month. We have to do all of that in the system. This is just outside of our control. It's been, the first 3 months have been challenging to get our fabrics and to make sure we get them out to you guys on time. And so I am glad that Free Spirit is doing this. It's the right decision to do. And I think that us pushing it forward will help make sure that we get all those shipments out to you on time and everyone's expectations are met. So if you're a Tim Holtz Painter's Palette participant, be sure to check your email. Be sure to check the Facebook group. We will provide you all the information about that. But just know that we are going to have to skip a month just due to incoming supply chain that Free Spirit's been navigating for too long and has finally made the decision to push everything forward, which is the right decision, guys. We don't want to keep, it's frustrating for you guys to expect things and we want to ship them, but we can't get them out to you. So I think this makes it much better, smoother, and easier for everyone. And then we can get back to just sewing fabric we like and actually having fun and being creative. All right. So with respect to Floral States, we are nearing the end of that program. As soon as we get done with Flyway this week, Floral States months 41 to 45 are going out the door. And then we get to 46 to 50. And that means we get the reveal and we get all those binding strips out to you guys for all those that want you on a point and want it on grid. We are going to be die cutting a ridiculous amount of royal blue fabric here in order to finish that program out next month. It is far surpassed my expectations, guys. That is so much fun. Sewing those Floral States blocks is just like, you just sit in the machine and you just put those through, and within like 10 to 15 minutes, you have a block and you can set it aside. And before you know it, you have 5 of them. They're such a cute little bite-sized 8-inch square, and I love it. Pat, thank you so much. I don't like the dragging things out. I think this 1 month release with the Tim Holtz is going to just be better for everyone. And then we can get back to everything being on time. Okay. For those of you that's signing up for the retreat, so for those of you that are signing up for the retreats and we got stuck on that month to month, our team finally made the executive decision. We just rebuilt a whole bunch of stuff. We got tired of dealing with our IT partners. That was painfully slow. And so everything for the month to month retreats is fixed. Guys, Sonoma is selling out. Sonoma is really, really close. If you want to join us in Sonoma and sew for a weekend with your quilting besties, you got to get on that. It's going to sell out really quick. New Orleans still has more spots available, but that Giuseppe workshop that he's going to put on, guys, it's going to be something awesome. We're using his fabrics. It's going to be die cut. So I know that oftentimes when you go to retreat and you're attending a session, you have to do a whole bunch of prep work coming in ahead of time. You have to do a whole bunch of cutting. And when you leave, you might have 10% of a quilt. I don't want that for you guys. And so we are pre-cutting everything that you're going to need for the retreat so you guys can sit and sew. And I know that at least one person is going to leave with the finished quilt top, and that's really what we want to do. So join us in New Orleans, get onto the website, get signed up before it is gone. Nicole is asking, will there be options to buy more royal blue fabric for the extra borders? Yes, Nicole, there is definitely going to be options. Once we get all these strips cut, once we get all these parts and pieces for all the cornerstones cut, there will definitely be royal. There will definitely be royal blue for those extra borders. We have, I think, like 600 yards here of this blue. Like, we have so much of this blue. It'll be on the website, and we will let you know when that's available. Though the monthly mystery quilts are not going to be delayed at all. So everything for Flyway and everything for Wild West is still tracking on time. That is still first Friday and last Friday. The only thing that is delayed is the Tim Holtz program. And that's just because raw materials from Free Spirit for that fabric are delayed. And they've been delayed since the very beginning. And so it's only the Tim Holtz that's going to be delayed. Everything else for us is on track and is shipping per all the commitments that have been made. So that's why, like, Flyway's on time, Wild West is on time. We are on time for all of our other programs. Okay. All right. And that is everything that is going on in shop. No shortage of good stuff that's going on here. So what I wanted to do today is give a PMQ primer. And so this is good for those of you that are joining us for the first time or those of you that have been with us for a long time. And so I'm going to actually unbox one of our prepaid mystery quilts that's done, the Nightingale colorway. And then I'm going to show you the process and what you receive each month, what it looks like when it's done, and then what it looks like when it's finished. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is show you the box. So if you are a prepaid detective, and so I know that prepaid and month to month can be kind of confusing. So if you've prepaid, it means you have paid for the entire program up front. We send you a box that looks like this, and it has all 10 months of fabric inside of it. And it's all pre-cut. And I love that we package it like Lego bags. I was inspired by my children when they were assembling Lego kits that each bag had a number. And so inside of it, you're going to find little packages numbered Clue 1, Clue 2, Clue 3, Clue 4. And each month you just open up your box, you grab your clue that's being sewn that month, you stitch it together, you can put it back in the bag and put it back in the box, and everything is contained inside of your box. We put a lot of other stuff in there, and so that's what I want to show you guys today. So inside the box, we always use tissue paper. It's kind of one of those things that I love to do. I know it's extra steps for my team, but they love the idea of, like, it's a gift. Here, I'm just going to take this out. They love the idea that it's a gift. So everything is wrapped in tissue paper inside of it. And when you open it up, the first thing you're going to see is a little welcome letter from us. We like to include a little note, giving a little history, a little background, and also giving you instructions on where to go in case you do get stuck. Inside of it, we have more information about our retreats. And then this little piece of paper is probably the most important piece of paper that any of you are going to get. And we include this in all of our Clue ones. We also include it in all of our prepaid boxes. We also include it on our evidence locker. There's a copy there, and every single person would have received this electronically when you placed your order that's specific to your colorway. This is a handy document, and I know that when people get this, especially our seasoned detectives, they get it and they set it aside, and all they ever use is the back side of it. The back side of it is the most important part. The back side of it tells you what fabric goes to what letter. So we're going to see when I show you the clue. It is important for you to know fabric A, fabric B, fabric C, fabric D, fabric E, and fabric F in the binding. And this little piece of paper is a color printout of the fabrics that you can match to what you sew each month. So you know what is A, what is B, what is C, what is D, etc. Now, if you lose this, just call us. Just send us an email. We'll get you another copy. If you can't find it in your email, if you can't find it on the evidence locker, you're definitely going to want to have this handy. Now, on the inside, so this is the part I know that our seasoned detectives tend to skip over, but you are definitely going to want to keep this. So here's some insider tips and tricks. This is kind of the, over the years, we've been doing this for 8 years now, the like tips and tricks and things that if you're sewing it together, you're going to want to read. If you've never read this and you've done many before, this is a fantastic refresher. It tells you all about the scant 1/4 inch. It tells you all about the program. It tells you what you should keep. It tells you how to read the instructions. This tips and tricks is super valuable. One of the most important things is the ship dates, this orange box here. And so this tells you when all of the clues are going to be sent to you via email, when all the clues are going to be put in the evidence locker, and when all the actual physical clues will be mailed to you. So we get that question a lot. And I will say we got a lot in January from people that were looking for their Wild Wests. And January was a very long month for many reasons. January was a long month. Clues Shevin shipped on the 31st. It shipped on time. It's always the last Friday. And we were getting people emailing us as early as the 20th asking us for their clues. Guys, the information is right here. It is always here, and it is going to be there in every booklet that we do. It also talks about our Facebook group, how to get questions answered. It talks about our next PMQ, which is going to open for signups on May 30th. This little book is golden. It has a lot of information in it. I definitely want you guys to make sure you know to hold on to this. Let's see here. I'm just going through. There's been a lot of questions here. Okay. Rachel's asking if there's an ambassador doing Starling. I haven't seen one yet. So, Paula answered that we have 2 ambassadors that haven't seen their colorways. So maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe yes, maybe no. Let's see. So Terry is saying she makes a copy and pins it to the cork board above her sewing station. That's a fantastic idea. Lisa, yes, the mystery is still open for order. If you want a prepaid with all of your fabric in a box, you have until tomorrow to get it ordered. If you want to do monthly, we do those for the next couple of months, but the prepaids will close for signups tomorrow. Let's see here. Tishua is saying she finished Clue 7. I am impressed, Tishua, that you are on top of it and getting it done as fast as they come in. That's impressive. In our prepaids, this is something new we did with Wild West. Hello from Tampa. Hello, Cooking in Tampa. This is an inventory. And so this tells you inside each of your little packages, which we're going to look at in a second, all your parts, shapes, the letters, again, the letters, which you need this to be able to map it to, the letters of what come in each of your clues. And so this is something that we were asked, can we get an inventory? I'm one of those people that as soon as I get it, I want to open up all of my months and I want to make sure I have everything. So when I get the clue, I can sit and sew. Okay, so this is for you people. This is for those quilters that are that way. If you are one of those folks that you want to go through and check and make sure you got everything that you needed, you can definitely send us an email and be like, hey guys, in month 8, I only got 1 instead of 2. That happens, guys. Our mistake rate is less than 1%. These mistakes happen. Just send us an email. We will happily get you, say for example, instead of 2 strips, you only got 1. We will put that in the mail to you. So that way, as soon as you get that clue, you can sit and you can sew. All right, so Terry's talking about pressing instructions. That's coming in a second. For those of you that opted in for color challenge cards for your prepaids, this is what all 10 months of the color challenge cards are going to look like. We're including these cute little clover clips in each one. And so you're going to get all 10 months. So that way you can participate in the color challenge, the coloring and the sewing and the stitching in real time with everyone. This is something that, you know, we were going to like send these to you at the end, but then you wouldn't be able to participate. By sending at the beginning, you can still participate with everyone each month versus having to go to the website and download it. So we like getting these to you guys. We're trying the clips this time. Hopefully that helps and you guys love that better than the bags. Again, trying to minimize a little bit of plastic. Marlene is saying you opted out. Can you change your mind? Marlene, go ahead and send an email into our help group and we will see what we can do. We might have to mail them to you separately because we've already started kind of collating and packaging things. But Marlene, go ahead and send in an email and we will take care of it. Let's see, Erin, same thing. Yeah, I mean, they're this, if you do get a monthly subscription, they're the same cards. If you would like to opt in, guys, just go ahead and send us an email to help and we will figure that out. Let's see here. Next, so for those of you that opted in for an Oops Kit, it is going to be included in your box or it will be included with your Clue 1. So an Oops Kit is a fat eighth of all 6 of the colors in your Puzzle Mystery Quilt. So this is what the Nightingale Oops Kit looks like. They're all different. This is for those folks that if you accidentally make a mistake or you have a snag or your seam ripper misbehaved and jumped into the fabric and you punched a hole, you can actually cut your parts in pieces and get right back to sewing immediately. You can always reach out to us, guys. We are always more than happy to, you know, replace those parts and pieces. We've had dogs eat fabric. We've had husbands throw away fabric. We've had children use it to color on. I wish we would have kept track of all of these because that feels like that would have been fun. The like things that have happened to fabric in people's homes. But so the Oops Kit is for those of you that want to just be able to, yeah, Greta, it is funny. I think Greta, if I remember correctly, wasn't your husband one of the ones that threw it away and you rescued it from the top of the trash? I think that's a Greta story. Maybe, maybe not. So anyways, so yes, so this is for those of you that want to get back to sewing quickly. This is also a great way to get a sample of all of the fabrics in your mystery quilt. And so I know that, you know, people are always like, I want to see a real fabric. Oh, Greta, it was your story. Holy cow, that's from so many years ago. This is a great way to also get one of each of the fabrics in your mystery quilt. So if you want to go and kind of match, if you want to, you know, take a look at other fabrics, you can also use this for side projects. So I know Ian, whenever he sews his mystery quilt, is always adding interesting elements to the borders or to the background. And so he can use his Oops Kit to be able to help him with those projects. And I'm going to show you what one of my teammates did with their Oops Kit at the end of one of their projects in a second. All right, then we also have the optional thread. So for those of you that want to get everything in your box and just be able to sit and sew from the very beginning, you are going to go and have this thread. And then when you're done, just put it back in here. And we talked about bobbins at the top of the show. Just put your bobbin right back in here. Just keep everything in your box so that way each month you can just go to it and get your bobbin and get your thread. Oh, Nicole is saying we're saving marriages. Yeah. We are going to, you know, anything we can do to help you guys. Really, that's what we're here for. Let's see here. Ellen is saying she would like to prepay. And so we've had a lot of folks this week who, you know, started out month to month and want to switch to prepay. Send us an email, but Ellen, I'm going to encourage you to do that today because those month to months are going to be out the door soon. We can deal with that. If you get your month to month and you want to switch to prepay, just let us know. We can work with that. All right. Now to the goods. All right. So in the box, this is, I'm going to see if I can get it so I can show everyone. So in the box, here's all the fabric for Nightingale. And so you can see, just like I said, there, I'm going to try and grab the right one. I'm going to grab Clue 1. And so literally when you get your clue for Clue 1, you just go to your envelope, go to your box, grab Clue 1, and inside of it is all the fabric that you need. You'll notice Clue 1 has a gift in it. So we always, always, always include a gift with Clue 1, 5, and 10. So 1, because you're excited and you're starting this and it's super fun. 5 because you're halfway through. You're almost there, gang. And 10 because you made it to the finish. And so the coveted pens, yes, long time Cotton Cuts, folks. These pens are the best pens. I love these pens. These are my favorite pens in the whole wide world. This is what you were going to grab. And so you grab this and you grab your instructions. And so I am going to show you what the Clue 1 instructions are. This is a sneak peek. You guys, every single person is going to get them emailed to them tomorrow because they're super, super, super fun inside the Clue 1. Rachel, I'm going to come back to your comment because I think we're going to need a second to process that. Okay, this is what the instructions look like. So each month, they're going to either be emailed to you or sent to you with your fabric if you're month to month. And it shows you what parts and pieces you're going to be making. It gives you that inventory right here of everything that should be inside of your Clue. And then it gives you instructions on how to contact us if anything's missing, anything needs to be replaced, or anything goes wrong. So everything is right on this front sheet of what should be included in your envelope or inside your box. And then on the back are the instructions. And so the instructions are very similar every time. It's similar layout. We always give you pressing instructions. And I know that sometimes it can feel a little counterintuitive. Like we're asking you to press to a light side, or we're asking you to press in a way that doesn't feel right. Trust the pressing instructions, because the pressing instructions will tell you what it's going to take to make sure that all of your finished seams nest together and you don't have big bulky seams and every point matches. So make sure that you're following the pressing instructions. They're always provided with an arrow. We always suggest that you sew with a scant 1/4 inch. And so the reason why a scant instead of a pure 1/4 is because when you sew those fabrics together and you flip them open, you lose about 3 threads in the fabric whenever it goes over. So if you're doing an exact 1/4, your pieces are going to be smaller. If you do a scant, they'll be truer to shape. Now, I am a horrible scant 1/4 sewer. So my advice is always be consistent when you're stitching these Clues. Use the same sewing machine, use the same presser foot, be consistent. It's geometry. Everything will fit together. I am not one of those folks that I stitch it together and it has to be exactly, 3.5. And if it's a little more or less, it's gonna but that's not me. That might be you. And if that's you, that's okay. Just make sure you're sewing with a scant 1/4 inch. Make sure you're using a dry iron so that way you don't stretch any of your seams, and follow the pressing instructions and everything will work out in the end. Just be consistent. How do we get it in color? I have difficult matching the fabric to the instructions. So Kim, that is a fantastic, we get this one a lot, right? And so the color, the instructions are in grayscale. And so we do that because not everyone's fabric A is the same, right? Printing these in color for 12 different colorways would be problematic and challenging to say the least. And so what we've done to try and help ease that gap between this and everyone's individual colorway is A is always white. And then the fabrics get darker in color until F, which is always black. And so, but not everyone's A fabric is the lightest fabric in their collection. So I can't tell you that A is the lightest fabric in yours. So that's why you have to put this with this in order to be able to see how your specific quilt comes together. And so I think that, not very many people know that grayscale, that A is always white, F is always dark. And so, and then of course, B, C, D, and E are all kind of the gradient getting darker going that way. Hopefully that's helpful to you. Also, something else that I have been known to do is they have the alphabetties that have the letters on them. You can put that on your fabric and lay everything out. I always lay it out this way and then put a letter on it so I know exactly which one is which before I start even sewing, just so I can keep the A's, the B's, the C's correct. If you don't have alphabetties, little pieces of Post-it work just as well. Anything that you have that has a letter on it can help you be able to match the letter to the shape, to the Clue that you're sewing. Okay. Now, this piece of paper is not just 8.5 by 11 two-sided this time. So this, for Flyway, we are doing a mystery within a mystery. And so on the inside, this is something Dominic, the boy who sews, is helping me with. It was his idea. We put it together. This is like, so I am so excited. This is like a super stinking cute little thing that we put together. And it's a crime. And so we have created a Chief Inspector Rosa. And so she is going to the Quilt Royale Quilt Show in Cottonville. And she's excited. She's going to a quilt show. She gets to hang out with quilting friends and take classes until she shows up and there's a murder. And she has to solve the murder using all of this evidence. It's clue style. So she has to find the suspect in the location with the weapon. And solve it. And if you go to the website that's in the instructions and submit an answer, we're going to give 5 people a $25 gift card to the Cotton Cut Shop each month. If you do it every month, then we will pick one lucky person to win a free PMQ for the next go around. So this is just something kind of fun that we're putting together. Quilt Inspector Rosa is my new favorite detective. I loved putting this together with Dominic, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. So that is going to be emailed to everybody on Friday. So if you're a month-to-month detective, you don't have to wait to receive your clue to get started on that logic puzzle and get in and submit it. You can do it over the weekend while you're waiting for your clue to arrive on tracking. All right, cut teeny swatches from your Oops Kit or snippets. Yes, Marlene, that's a fantastic suggestion. So Marlene's coming back to getting stuck on which color goes to which. And so you can actually take your Oops Kit and you can map it out and it helps you. For those of you that have been with us for a lot of mysteries, we used to actually take fabric and we would cut actual fabric and sew them in strips and staple them to a card. And we burned out like 16 sewing machines doing that. So we don't do that anymore. We tried to make it easier by having the full color booklet. I think Janice said that the full color booklet is usually pretty accurate for her. So yes, that is the way it goes. So in the box, it's clues 1 to 10. Paula wanted me to take a minute to talk about a clue 10 because we always get lots of questions. Does it include the binding? Does it include the backing? What does clue 10 include? And so I have an example of a clue 10 here. This is an older clue 10. I'm not revealing anything. This is not Flyway. I just want to take a minute. This is not Flyway. You guys are not getting revealed anything by watching me. This is an old mystery. And so in clue 10, what you actually get is everyone always gets binding to finish their quilt in their clue 10. And so it is cut as a continuous piece. People are individual about their binding. Some like it 2 1/4 inches if they want a narrow binding. Some like it 3 inches if they want to have 3 inches if they want to have a wider binding. Since it's so personal, we just include a piece of fabric that's binding for your finished quilt. And we also include finishing strips and parts and pieces. So sometimes it can include a square, sometimes it includes cornerstones, but it is all the finishing pieces that you're going to need to finish up your quilt. So clue 10 has everything that you will need at the end, including the instructions on how to put everything together. So it is going to tell you, clue 1 to clue 4 to clue 7, stitch them together, press. Clue 4 to 2 to 6 and press. I am making this up. Please don't sew any of that in any of the projects you currently have because you are going to be down a ditch in a bad direction. I completely made that up. But that's ultimately what the clue 10 is going to tell you to do. Jana is saying, we no longer submit monthly pictures of completed clues. So we have Sunset Flat Nancy for this time around. We're trying out something a little different, but we wanted to give a little bit of fresh air. We could probably come back to Flat Nancy, but what Paula posted is absolutely right. Please continue to post your finished clues in the Cotton Cuts Fabric Facebook group. I know a lot of people, and they're kind of in the group, and they're not super active, but they rely on those photos to help make sure they're going in the right direction. So definitely continue to submit pictures in the Facebook group. Yeah, Terry says Dominic is so creative. Yeah, I'm pretty fond of that kid myself. He's a keeper. I'm not going to send him back. Okay, so that is the whole quilt. If you are getting a month-to-month clue, it is going to arrive. I thought we had a month. Oh, it just fell down. Hold on one second. Clue down. Okay. So if you are doing a clue 1, this one doesn't have its pens in it, but it will. And so you're going to get all your parts and pieces here, and you're going to get your instructions for your clue 1 that are going to be sewn here. Very similar to what comes out of the box. Now, when you get that together, you're going to be sewing parts and pieces. I know in a traditional block of the month program, you get the parts and pieces and you sew a block, right? And then the next month you sew a block. and then the next month you sew a block, and at the end you have 12 blocks, and it's beautiful. That is not this program. So this is more of each month you're creating puzzle pieces. And so that's why we call it a puzzle mystery quilt, because you're creating parts and pieces that, that come together. And so this was clue 8 of a former mystery. And I think someone posted, Savannah said that this was her colorway for Carnival. So this is Candy Apple. And so in this case, it created these parts and pieces as well as these parts and pieces. So these are the puzzle pieces that you make each month. And this is about an average size clue. I would say that these parts and pieces sewn together is about what you're going to make each month. So you're not making a single 12-inch block. You are making parts and pieces, and you're going to label them and set them aside. And so folks that have done this, there's going to be a post on Facebook in the next couple of days. What do you guys do with your finished clues? And so some people will take and will fold them up. I'm going to show you what some people do. And they'll actually put it inside of their instructions. So that way they know everything inside of here is a clue 8. Some people will put them inside of the bag and close it with a logo sticker. Some people put it inside of a clean pizza box. That came early for us. That suggestion was to go to a local pizza shop by you and get a clean empty box, one they haven't used before. It's actually like similar to the dimensions of this, and it's a fantastic way to be able to put all your parts and pieces together. A lot of people use those 12 by 12 scrapbook boxes that you can get at a craft store. That is another fantastic way to store all your parts and pieces once they're sewn. So that can be what this guy is here. Okay, so let me see. I'm getting a lot of questions, and so I want to make sure that I don't keep going too fast. Let's see here. Bobby is encouraging everyone to continue to share your photos because she likes seeing the other colorways come together. Kim Berry, for the thread extra, how big is the spool? So it is an Aurifil spool it's 1,300 meters. So it is the large Aurifil spool. It is this guy. It is going to be definitely enough to complete your project plus some. Summer is talking about, she was pleasantly surprised that the pieces all came together in clue 10. That works. I trust me. There were some things where I was pressing them per the instructions and I was like, this is not going to work. And it worked. And all the seams came together and all the points matched magically because you followed those instructions. Roseanne is asking, no more file camp. No, Roseanne, we are definitely on file camp. If you are a Flyway detective, you already have Flyway prepaid detective. You already have access to File Camp. That is our evidence locker. You can log in there and you can see all your new files and folders for Flyway. That's all been updated already. Let's see here. Pat is asking, is it correct that if we order monthly, the pattern comes with the monthly fabric? Yes, this will come with the monthly fabric. If you prepay, you have to print it off yourself. Yes, that is true. If you prepay, you have to print these off yourself. You can also download them and have them on your iPad. You can download them and have them on your cell phone. You can keep them digitally. But you also have access to that evidence locker 24/7. So say your fabric gets separated from your clues, which happens more than probably should, but it does happen. You can have that pattern on your phone and continue to sew without having to find a piece of paper. Decided to do Nightingale month to month in addition to my 2 prepaids. Yes, Shelly, I think I saw that order come through. Patricia, my first time, a little nervous. Okay, so Patricia, I highly encourage you to join the Cotton Cuts Fabric Facebook group. There's so much support there and so many people that will help you through. We have a lot of folks that have done this every time we've done it. I have to check my insert. I think we're on number 17. We have at least 3 people that have done all 17 quilts, and they are 17. And we have 3 people that have done at least 17 with us, and they are active and they are involved in the group, and it's fantastic. Let's see here. Erin is saying if it would have been in her budget, she would have definitely done 2. I understand that. Let's see here. So Patricia, no reason to be nervous. Let's see here. Let's see here. A lot of people talking about loving blue. I see Nightingale. That's the colorway that I chose. So Shirley, yes, those Nightingale ones are going to be gone really, really fast. Okay, so Paula wanted me to kind of show you the story. So each month you're making these puzzle parts and pieces. And like I said, at clue 10, you're told, hey, clue 4 goes with clue 7, goes with clue 8, and then it gets sewn together. And so she wanted me to show you what the Candy Apple finished quilt looks like. And it is here. I'm going to be able to do this from a seated position. So normally when we have our lives at the end, I'm standing. So let's see here. I think we can get most of it. All right. I'm going to try not to fall out of my chair. Okay, so this is what it looks like at the end. And so I'm going to see these parts and pieces, right? There, you can see kind of where they come together. In fact, I think I looked out and like, that is that part. It's here. It's here somewhere. So this is actually going to be sewn together. And so this was our carnival colorway. For the mystery quilt. And so this was made by Dawn in our shop. She loves it. It's awesome. And it is fantastic and beautiful. Is it Dawn? Holly. It was done by Holly. It's done by Holly. I have too many talented folks on my team, you guys. They are awesome. And they sew for us all the time. So this was done by Holly. And she brought it in for us. Yes, it is. This one is fantastic. And I know Savannah did it. All right. Now, when you place your order for your Puzzle Mystery Quilt, there's an option to add on other things because some people like to get it all in one big package. And so you can add the borders. I'm trying to see this one. This one does have a border kit on it. So you can see that the design ended here. These two borders were added on after. And so it makes it just a little bit bigger. And we cut those the full length of the fabric. So you don't have to piece them at all. We cut them the full length and we add a couple inches to make sure that we accommodate for any sewing variants that might go on. But the idea is there's no stretching because they're not cut with the fabric. They're cut full length. You don't have to piece anything together. You can literally, once you finish your quilt, add those borders and you're done. We also have the option for backing kits as well. And so for that, we give you a single piece of fabric. It is normally 42 to, it's typical with the fabric. We'll give you, I think it's 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. It all depends on the size and if you've added borders. And so we have 3 fabrics for each collection. We're still finalizing Odyssey. That one, we're still struggling to get some fabrics that we can guarantee delivery on. But you can order your backing kits now. And then that way, when you get to the end of the mystery, it just arrives to you and you don't have to think about it. And so you will have the front of your quilt. You can have the borders if you choose. You will have the binding and you will have the backing all in one thing. So all you guys have to do is do the batting and you have a complete project in 10 months. Let's see here. Paula, what did I miss? I have to check my boss. Yes. Okay. So I promised you that I would come back to what you could do with the Oops kit. So that's commonly a question we get at the end of the mystery. So as we get to the end of the mystery, you want me to push this away? All right. Paula's asking so much of me today. All right. So as we get to the end of the mystery, right? If you've got that Oops kit and you haven't used it, what can you do with it? And so I always love seeing what people do with their leftover Oops kits. And so this was done, and I'm gonna get it right. It was done by Cheryl. Cheryl made this pillow for her moonlit from her Oops kit and from her stitchets. And so this pillow, she made 2 of them. Again, this is how it goes. So she made 2 of these pillows to go with her finished Puzzle Mystery Quilt using her Oops kit. And this is what it looks like. Whew. Okay. So this is Tree of Life. So you guys, for those of you that did it, you can see kind of the tree branches and the tree inside and the tree outside and how they're all connected. And these are the pillows that she made. And then she has a complete set because she used her Oops kit, she used stitchets, and she was able to make an entire quilt with it. All right, let me get caught up on the comments. So yes, Songbird is amazing. Yes, next Thursday night, Ian and Sean, we're going to do a live show next Thursday night. 7 p.m. Central. You're going to want to tune in and we will have, I'm sure it'll be fun. It'll be great. They're always a hoot and a holler. All right. Let's see here. So I think, Paula, I've literally covered everything. Yes? No more to go. Okay. So with that, for those of you that have hung with me the whole show, we're going to give away a $25 gift card. Wherever you find this video, be it on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Instagram, leave a comment and tell us what colorway are you sewing for Flyway, but most importantly, why? Why did you choose that colorway? Why did it sing to you? What was it that brought it into something that you wanted to sew? We would love to gather all that, and we'll pick one lucky person to get a $25 gift card to our shop. Don't forget, Clue 1 ships tomorrow. Check your email. You're going to have all the mystery within a mystery things. It's going to be fantastic. And tomorrow's the last day to prepay for Flyway. And check your tracker and know when your things are coming. I think that is it for me, gang. It has been an absolute fantastic morning to spend with you. Thank you guys so much for your comments. Thank you so much for your engagement. We are always here to help. whether this is your first or your 17th mystery with us, definitely send us an email. We want to help you. You can call into the shop. Our folks are always happy. We want you to get to the end of this program. We want you to love it as much as we do. Let's see here. So Tim Holtz, there's definitely more opportunities for Tim Holtz. Lots of people commenting on their colorways. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and share this video, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much, and happy sewing. Bye now. And cut. Thank you so much for watching our video. We have so much fun making these, and we hope that you were both delighted and inspired by what you just watched. This video was sponsored by Cotton Cuts. Cotton Cuts is your one stop for all the best fabric and thread memberships. Love fabric? We've got you covered. Love thread? We've got you covered. We get that no two quilters are cut from the same cloth, which is why our memberships are as unique as you. We also have the largest block of the month in the world. Over 4,000 detectives solve our puzzle mystery quilts every year, and you can join them. Simply go to cottoncuts.com to learn more about all the awesome and fun things that we're doing. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to make sure you get all of our new fresh content every time it comes out. Thank you so much. Happy sewing enthusiasts, and we will see you soon. Bye now.